Hey there. So, if you're living in or around Broussard and you're looking for a dog trainer, you already know it can feel like a pretty big task. We're going to break it all down step by step to help you find that perfect match for you and your dog.
So, here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll talk about what it even means to have a well-behaved dog right here in Broussard. Then, we'll get clear on your specific goals, figure out all the trainer jargon, lay out an action plan for picking someone, and finally, talk about the best places to practice those new skills around town.
All right, first things first, what does a great Broussard dog actually look like? Well, it's about a lot more than just knowing basic commands. It's really about training for the way we live here. You know, it's easy to think all dog training is the same, but it really has to fit where you live. For us, that means having a dog who's just as calm on a quiet neighborhood street as they are at a busy community gathering.
And this is what it's all about, right? You want to be able to enjoy a weekend at Detente Park without your arm being pulled out of its socket. You want to visit a dog-friendly spot and not worry about your dog causing a scene. That's what good local training sets you up for.
Okay, so before you even start looking for a trainer, you've got to get super clear on what you actually want to accomplish. Let's figure out what your specific goals are. Seriously, take a second and think about it. What are those one or two things that just drive you crazy? If they were fixed, life would be so much easier. Is it the nonstop barking, the jumping on every single guest? That's your starting point. Now, this list is really helpful. You can pretty much use it like a checklist. Maybe you look at this and go, yep, leash pulling and jumping on people, that's us. Knowing exactly what you need helps so much when you start talking to trainers. And your goals also point you to the type of training you need. Are you just trying to raise a well-behaved family pet, or are you dealing with something more serious, like fearfulness, that needs what's called behavior modification? Knowing the difference is key to finding the right expert. All right, you know your goals. Now let's talk about how trainers get the job done. This part is all about understanding the language they use so you can feel confident in your choice. The method that's most recommended by veterinary and behavior professionals is positive reinforcement. Put simply, it's about rewarding the behaviors you want to see more of. This builds a really strong, trusting bond with your dog because you're teaching them what to do, not just punishing them for what not to do. I know these letters can look like alphabet soup, but this chart makes it way easier. Just think of CPDTK as a great all-around certification for general manners. If you see KPA, CTP, that tells you the trainer is all about science-based positive methods. For tougher stuff like anxiety, look for IABC, CDBC. And for really serious issues like aggression, a certification like CBCCKA is absolutely essential for everyone's safety.
Okay, now that you have all this background info, you're ready to actually start reaching out to people. Let's walk through the practical steps for finding that perfect person. Think of this as your script for that first phone call. When you ask about their methods, you're listening for positive reinforcement. When you ask about credentials, you'll know what those letters mean. And asking how they'll customize a plan, that shows you're looking for someone who sees your dog as an individual, not just another client. And of course, we have to talk about cost. This should give you a pretty realistic idea of what to expect here in a Broussard and Greater Lafayette area. Group classes are usually the most budget-friendly for basic skills, while something like a board and train program is obviously a much bigger financial investment. So, which is better for you, in-home or group classes? Well, it depends on your goals. If your dog goes nuts when the doorbell rings, in-home is perfect because you can work on that problem right there in your living room. But if your dog just needs to learn to focus on you when other dogs are around, a group class is a fantastic and controlled way to practice that. All right, you did it. You found a trainer, and you're starting to see progress. The last step, and honestly, it might be the most important, is getting out there and putting those new skills to the test in the real world. This is how the training really becomes second nature. You could start at Girard Park where it's a bit more open, just working on basic obedience. Once your dog is doing well, maybe head to the trails at Acadiana Park Nature Station to practice with all those new smells and sounds. Detente Park is a great final challenge, to work on polite leash manners when there are more people around. Remember, investing in training isn't just about stopping a few bad habits. It's about building a relationship that lets you and your dog truly enjoy everything Broussard has to offer. Just imagine feeling totally relaxed on your walks, at the park, or even just having people over. That peace of mind is what this is all about.